on proposed solar farm ordinance. So if you're interested in speaking, please let me know. Come on up. Oh, that's why.
I'll be first. My name is
State your
James, or I go by Jim Moss. Live over on in Gurley. These questions really relate to the solar farms in general. It's kind of new to me. This is the first I'm hearing that we've have these things starting up. Anyway, one of my first question is, how are the local residents informed and updating on these upcoming solar projects to get out for people are more informed about it?
So our information, Mr. Williams, can you give us some of that? We've got one solar farm that is in operation right now, and they've already signed a contract, so this will not really apply to them. This is gonna apply to the new solar ordinances, to the new solar farms. But, Mr. Williams, can you answer his question?
Yeah, what would you like to know? Sorry.
How are the local residents informed and updated on these projects as they come about?
Whenever the Willis Pond project first came about, we had a public hearing because we had to figure out where it fit in our zoning. So we had a public hearing on it first, and we advertised for that for 2 or 3 weeks, Ms. Harris. I'm not quite sure. I think it's 3 weeks. So yes.
Okay, so we have to be on the lookout as it comes up in the police jury.
Correct. Yes.
The other thing is, wanted to know if the Economic Development Agency, the Louisiana Department of Energy and Natural Resources, and the zoning permitting agency, were they involved in putting this thing together, or was it solely done by the?
Now, when you talk about putting this thing, are you talking about putting this ordinance together?
Well, that and any contractual agreements that y'all would do for these projects.
Yes.
Planning and zoning was involved. Big
Planning
time,
and zoning
yes, planning and zoning
involved.
was involved with
He's
this.
asking if the state agencies are involved.
Well, he has planning and zoning. State agencies are involved again, Mr. Williams.
It's my understanding that the state gives certain credits on these solar farms, and in order to apply or to being able to get these credits, you have to go by certain standards that the state's given. Is that correct, Scott? I believe you can, maybe a little bit more on that.
And you had a third thing that was part of that question. What was the third one? The state agency?
The Economic Development Agency, again, based on what I see on the internet, a lot of these solar farms go through that agency when they're set up, when they're developed and contracted. Some of them do what they call a pilot plan, which is a payment in lieu of tax program, where they can take that revenue and use it in different ways other than what.
You're talking about those that have what they call these places that have industrial boards.
Yeah,
And industrial boards do that. We do not have an industrial board here.
do have an economic.
We have economic development, yes,
That's different.
but that's different. If we talk about, that's an industrial board that usually sets that up with the pilot
Okay.
program.
All right. Let's see. Does the parish have any dedicated public or state-owned property set aside that could be used for these?
I'm not sure about that one.
Well,
If we
you
had-
got lots of land over at, for the hospital, DCI, all of that.
Yeah, that's state,
land there.
state land. It's not
Wouldn't
fair.
wouldn't state land be more of a choice for these projects rather than?
Well,
We don't own the state land to be able to make.
Well, I
these.
mean, it would have to be in conjunction. But, anyway, that's a question I had.
That question came up earlier. The question.
it might be this month.
They got two of them.
Is that the
here.
small microphone?
It stays on there, you got.
Just sit down, probably.
All right, put that on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Does that work good? Hello?
It's gonna work fine.
Huh?
That's
It works for
what
the news people.
Okay,
that's what
okay, where were we?
The question came up before about how did we originally get some of that, property from the state? Somebody has a farm on it or something, and I went through and I researched about how that happened. It happened under Bobby Jindal's administration. And it was given, that was the only time that was ever done. And it's not active right now. It's owned personally, but it just, I don't think it played out like they thought it was gonna play out. So nothing else has ever happened with that, but that came straight from Bobby Jindal's office, is my understanding.
That was the one in Franklinton.
No,
That's on LSU property there.
this is on Highway 19.
You talking about north of Crossroads?
Yes.
That property, so. Yeah.
So to a gentleman there through Bobby Jindal's
Right.
administration.
They sold off a lot of assets. I worked for them.
Okay, but
It
it,
was legitimate, so.
well, I'm not saying it wasn't a legitimate sale, I'm saying that that was the only time it happened, and then nothing ever happened after that. But that, it came from the governor's office.
Yes, he
And
sold off. a
what
lot
was
of
that
assets.
property? What were you talking about, the property?
It's, north of
Feedlot.
10,
Yeah.
Oh, on 19,
Yeah.
the field, okay, okay.
The other thing, I understand most of a lot of your revenue is gonna be collected, that you're gonna collect, is from the sales tax. And, I'm wondering, the budget I saw includes the sales tax, to be sales tax collected for this parish. But if you've got somebody that's purchasing material and whatnot from another state and paying sales tax in that state, and then delivering it here, will that sales tax be lost?
no, because just like if you buy something from Walmart and they deliver it to your house, that tax
Local taxes.
is local.
So it has to be understood that they don't, when they buy something in Texas, that they don't pay any sales tax.
Well, that's just
That is exempt from sales tax.
kind of the way it is.
That sales tax is gonna be paid here.
Yeah,
That microphone's in here.
Yeah, that might,
That's this young man right here, he has, this come up, and, he's not going to the state to get, for the tax business, they have publicly said that they don't pay their fair share, so he can give you a little insight on the tax business.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I can also let you finish the rest of your.
All right, and then my last question is concerning the decommissioning. Again, something I read that they strongly recommend that the owner put up a bond for any kind of decommissioning costs. And that way, if the owner is out of business, that you have a bond or something to go to make sure that decommissioning is paid for.
It's in order.
That-
Yeah,
I saw the
it's in order.
decommissioning, but is there a bond related to that? I didn't see that part.
No, but that's a possibility of something we may want to add to that, to that
Yes.
bond, so in case the company goes out of business.
Right.
We will have, you know, be able to get that taken care of. But maybe there was a reason it's not there.
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the bond should be between the leaseholder, right?
And the,
Or-
and the.
Exactly, who the company doing the solar farm and the owner of the property, because it's not the parish. No,
We
the
should
job,
be included in that.
well, that entirely, look, that's up to y'all, you know, that's
They,
why.
they need
I
to,
present
they need
y'all.
to, if, name and waive y'all, you know, make sure that.
Right, well, that's why we're here tonight, to hear y'all's, you know, concern and discuss it. And if y'all wanna make changes to it, you're more than welcome.
Yours.
Anyway, I'm finished. I think this gentleman could come up and answer the things you said.
Good evening, council. My name is Tucker Delahy. I'm a developer at Desiree. We do not have an operating solar farm here in East Feliciana Parish, but we do have one under development. Plans for the future solar farm. I would first like to address the tax questions, starting with a pilot. I know there was mention of a pilot agreement, payment in lieu of taxes. Just for everyone's understanding, this agreement, if it were to happen, which it's not, but it would be an agreement between an entity and you guys where we decide on a payment schedule in lieu of taxes. Our solar farm has absolutely zero plans to enter into such an agreement, and that would be for property taxes. When it comes to sales taxes, we also will pay full sales tax, and as discussed, let's say we did purchase our panels in Texas, which is unlikely, but you know, in that case, we'd come over, we pay the local sales tax on those. I have two general comments here on the ordinance. Well, I should say three. The first one being overall, I think it's super well written. I think it's a very workable ordinance, and I commend you all for drafting this up and getting it in front of the public. My two concerns here have to do with some expirations, some automatic expirations, specifically in the permits and fees G3. The permit may not be extended beyond a 180-day extension herein. Just such an automatic trigger may become problematic for financing a project, simply due to completely unforeseen circumstances. One thing that comes to mind is MISO, the grid operator, has been delaying and delaying their network upgrade costs for our project for probably over a year now. So until we get that in hand, we don't, I guess we couldn't really move forward. So such an automatic trigger of a permit lapsing could be an issue. If possible, to have some sort of ability after that 180 days to come back to the parish council, speak our case, and have you guys decide whether an extension would be appropriate. We certainly would appreciate that. I think it would make our project much more palatable to financing partners. And in the exact same vein, and when it comes to the decommissioning plan, item number B, the automatic trigger of 180 days of lack of operations is a concern. We do think that it's a great idea to have a strong decommissioning requirement. We have decommissioning requirements in our leases with our landowners. We think that they absolutely should be in a solar ordinance as well. Our concern here, again, is just force majeure events or act of God events that no one can see coming. I can't say what that would be at this future, but I can say that I've seen financing partners express concern with items like that in ordinances and make the project hard to finance. So if there, again, similar to the other item, if there could be a way where we could come in front of the police jury, speak our case, and have you guys decide whether an extension would be appropriate, that would be a change that I would like to see. But overall, I think this is a fantastically drafted ordinance, and I appreciate it.
So, on the decommissioning the bond, do you see how that would be a good thing for us? I mean.
Absolutely.
And, okay, so you're not, as a company, you're not opposed to, I mean, I'm asking you not that that's, you know, we wanna work with everybody, but that makes sense, the bond.
It sure does.
Okay. And then you would just like to see on the permits, you would like to see an opportunity to have a discussion before we jump at that 180 day.
That's correct. It's the automatic terminations that I foresee being a potential problem with lenders, essentially. They'll spot that, and they may have some trouble financing through that.
Okay, and Jeff, it's not here, so how, what made the decision?
So who's Tucker?
I'm Tucker.
You're Tucker, okay, so I've been emailing you back and forth,
Yes.
correct? Okay, and I explained to Mr. Tucker, that if he did want an extension, all he had to do was come to the police jury and ask for extension over the 180 days, which is the same thing that was done previously, on the Willis Pond project.
So you don't see it written?
I personally think that's gonna be in the permitting process, not as the solar farm ordinance, but there again, that's entirely up to y'all.
Sure. I did read your response, and then I reread the ordinance. It's, with item 3 here, a permit may not be extended beyond a 180-day extension. That's just not the way me or our council reads it. And I know you guys have to follow the letter of the law, so I came here to let you guys know. But again,
Same question.
He'll be here later.
Yeah.
if there is an avenue for us to come, stand in front of you, and speak our case, and you guys make a decision on whether to allow an extension, that would be our preference, just as Jeff has said.
Well, I think that'll be something that'll be addressed when you get further along through our legal counsel, who that may be. And that's,
Got it.
that's where we're gonna be with that. That's where I'm at, and where the rest of the board is at, I don't know.
I agree, I think that'll be something as we get along with this.
Ken is very
that'll show
well
up.
aware.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Up
No, I'm
here.
not coming up.
Well, before I get up here, I've got a question, because I don't want to make a fool of myself. Are we discussing the ordinance?
Strictly the
Ordinance.
Okay, strictly the ordinance.
I state your name, please.
Debbie Kemp. As y'all well know, a couple of meetings back, Mr. Olivo brought up the point about the permit fees and how we're missing out on a lot of money. And his was based on Washington Parish. Washington Parish is 1% of final construction costs. I don't know how you compute that, because you can't compute a final cost until the job is done. West Feliciana also is based on construction costs, and theirs is 0.3% of construction costs as submitted by the plan. Our plan is based on acreage. I've had 2 reports that and I'm using Willis Pond as an example. One says Willis Pond is a 1,700 acre, one says Willis Pond is a 3,400 acre. So,
1650.
well, we're gonna go with the 1,700 right now, okay? So I did some figuring, and we're gonna say if this was presented in Washington Parish, and the initial cost for Willis Pond was $308 million, I'm just rounding off to $300 million, their permit fee would have been $3 million. Today, it's projected to be $500 million plus. So Washington Parish would be bringing in $5 million for a permit fee. West Feliciana, who is 0.3% for the $300,000, they would have made $900,000 in a permit fee. With the projected cost of $500 million, they'd make $1.5 million in fees. Now, we get down to East Feliciana Parish, and we're looking at 1,700 acres. 500 acres, $10,000 flat rate for the first 500. $5 an acre for any additional acres. So a permit fee based on that, if they were today, would be $16,000. I'm gonna make a proposal that y'all reconsider this. Instead of going with acreage or construction, go with number of panels. Right now, there's no projected number for Willis Pond that AI can get to. But there's a calculation, and based on the size and whatnot, using the projected number of solar panels at a per panel rate with an average density of 1,000 to 1,500 panels per acre. roughly translates to 1.7 million to 2.5 million panels for the 1,700 acres. 1,700 acre panels at 2 cents a panel would yield a fee of $34,000. The 2.5 million panels at 2 cents a panel would be $50,000. It's not too far, you know, it's a lot more than we can get in, but it's still a very reasonable price. And what you could also, as a contingency, anything over the number that they submitted in the initial plans, with the number of panels over, you would charge it twice the rate, so 4 cents a panel. And if they came under, you could refund them half the rate, 1 cent a panel. So that's what I'm putting before y'all. I've got, you know, paper if you want, whatnot. It's all up to you. But I think we are shortchanging ourselves, but we don't need to be greedy like Washington Parish.
Well, and with you saying that, I am sure that there was a reason that that amount was selected. Jeff, is there a reason to discuss why we went to that amount? And I keep calling on Jeff because he...
St. Helena has the same scale as we do. And I don't mean any
Very integral.
disrespect to what he did. He did his homework and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, but I think, to me, a lot of it is, we're looking at this AI data center that's going up in the West Feliciana Parish, and it's gonna need a lot of power. And we're just trying to get our foot in the door faster than anyone else by having lower rates. But even if we up it a little bit, we're still lower than West Feliciana. And we're the next parish in line. St. Helena, which has our own scale, you know, they're a little further away. And then you're also looking at who's got the property. So, you know, it's all if. So, you wanna, I mean, it doesn't matter.
I'll be more than happy to address that. So what I did, I looked at 5 different parishes. Sam, Tequila and I, we looked at 5 different parishes, went over them all, kind of came in agreement that this was the best one. Personally, the way I look at the permitting fee, I understand some of them are higher, but these are private landowners that have agreements with companies. And to me, if you put a high permit fee, you're discouraging that company from coming here, which is taking away from the landowner and also taking away from the parish. So obviously, if we go with a higher permitting fee, they're gonna go to St. Helena Parish, which is obviously cheaper. That's just my 2 cents.
And so our residents will be the ones that'll be hurt.
That's my take.
Whatever.
Well, indeed, both sides needed to be brought up.
Well, I mean, it's up to y'all. Y'all discuss more about it. It's just not like, hey, this is what we're gonna go with right now. Knowing you've got some options as well.
The other point, you're losing out on the sales tax.
That's what I was gonna be, you got it.
Hey, Griff McEwen, my point is that you'd be losing out on the sales tax if they go to St. Helena Parish as well, so. You will get a smaller permit fee, but you lose out on the bigger fee, which would be your sales tax.
Anyone else?
One other thing, what it could be, and I'm just surmising this, the revenue they're collecting on these other parishes, maybe it's to cover the cost that you're gonna incur to put that project. In the contract, in the agreement, y'all have a clause in there, you're gonna be reimbursed for all your outside legal and technical engineering. I don't know if they get reimbursed for that, or if that percentage includes that cost. That was the only thing I was gonna bring up.
Well, mine would also be additional expenses.
Anyone else? You want to address it?
I will.
Okay. You got up.
So basically, to me, it's a cost of doing business. Obviously, every engineering charge that the parish is going to get is gonna be turned over to the companies doing the solar farm. So it's not gonna cost the parish anything. Does that answer your question?
And that property right now, the one coming up is leased property, correct?
Correct. Fair enough.
But technically, isn't Willis Pond a done deal?
So Willis Pond is a done
So
deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
talking about the future.
Future,
Yes,
not to pay it
Right,
before.
right.
Anyone else have any comments they want to make?
I had a few things I'd like to point out. We've got a minute. In the traffic plan, Part B, I'd like to see it instead of the remediation, something more specific of the damage to the roadway. It should say improve the standard and/or condition upon completion of the project, once it's completed. And that standard can either be a state standard or a standard that we in-house come up with, that we want the roads that they're utilizing to be taken care of. I think that should be a burden carried by the individuals developing the solar farm instead of us, the jury. And just to put it back like it was, I think for the efforts, we should get something in better shape than what it was.
And the inconvenience.
Yes, yes, to the residents. And then the other item I had was relating to buffer zones. Bullet point B, it says 75 feet from the property line. I'd like to see a little bit more. I'd like to see something along the lines of 200 feet. And then when you go down to portion C, instead of a 75-foot buffer zone, I'd like to see something like 100 feet. That gives anyone traveling the roadways or adjacent businesses, property owners, homeowners, a little bit more of a secluded feeling than being such a small margin.
Any other comments? Jurors, anything else? Okay, then this ends this public hearing.
Motion to that effect?
Motion, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Second. All right, thank you.